What if I told you that you were sitting on a gold mine if you were being more intentional about how you use social media? What if I told you that there were thousands of people making multiple six figures every single month doing what you are doing right now for free, right? Not even just right now for free, but spending 3 hours a day doing. And people are making thousands in the six figures, if anything, per month, just using social media, regularly posting. Now, of course, they're doing something better than you're doing. And that's exactly why I'm here today, to go over those secret tips and hacks that are making content creators tens to hundreds upon thousands of dollars every single month just using their social media channels and doing exactly what you are doing. And I want you to retire doing what you love so that you can be able to live the life that you want, spend the time with your family, friends, and just not having to worry about finances. You have everything that you need, but I'm here to show you exactly what and how you can use those things. What's going on, millionaires? You're tuned into the $1 Million Mind Podcast, episode 209 on the perfect social media marketing campaign. Today's episode is sponsored by the Creators Community, the #1 hub for content creators who are learning to grow and monetize their platforms. The link is going to be in the description below if you want to learn more. So welcome back to the $1 Million Mind Podcast, guys. This is the #1 community for entrepreneurs in the mindset and monetization space. You are here, and I want you to be ready for another $1 million conversation that will help you unlock your mind to the next level. So make sure you tap in, right? So how is it possible to make 6-7 figures using an app that I use to just post pics, chat with friends, and be entertained? That's the question that I get a lot of people asking me, as I've been delving into the social media, marketing, content creation, and most importantly, the monetization of content, right? That's what I do. As a producer, I am helping people monetize their platforms, whether it's a podcast, whether it's, just short form content on social media. How can you direct the traffic and attention from an app and convert it to dollars on the back end? And so when it comes to this social media platform, guys, it is hands down undefeated. And I got this thing backed and suggested by not just one, but 3 different AI platforms have confirmed that this is by far the strongest social media marketing campaign that someone can put together to be able to create some dollars and generate some revenue behind their content, right? There are actually a lot of different ways, but in this video, we're going to focus on and really understanding this one in particular, right? Like I said, there are several different campaigns, but I want to keep your attention and I want to have your focus for the next 15, 20 minutes or so on this social media campaign in particular, because it is arguably one of the strongest and most effective plans that you can put together and execute if you want to monetize your platform and you want to monetize it fast. Right, so let's get into it. Let's dive in. And of course, it's not the $1 Million Mind Podcast without some actionable steps in that list. So I got a list of 7 things. And these 7 things are going to be pretty much broken up by days. That's right. We are doing a 7-day social media campaign, 7-day social media challenge that putting this thing together with intention, guys, it's undefeated. I have ran this play several times and have been able to generate thousands of dollars in a day, hundreds of dollars in a day, and really even things that I'm testing, concepts and communities and plans that I'm testing, I'm able to get a few sales on the back end off of an undeveloped product just using this 7-day social media campaign. So the first one, day 1, this is going to be your hook, right? And keep in mind, you want to figure out what's going to be the best form of content that'll allow you to communicate the purpose of each day the best to reach your audience, right? There are different types of content. You have reels, you have stagnant posts, you have carousel posts, and then you have stagnant and video posts, right? So there are a lot of different ways that you can put out content. You want to figure out which one is going to be the best one and allow you to reach your audience. But day one, you're focusing on the hook. Think of the hook as your first impression. This is how you get the impression of your new audience, right? So obviously, I would say that this one needs to be a reel. This one needs to be an exciting reel that gets people attention quickly and have some level of a cliffhanger at the end to make them want to go to your page and follow you and turn them notifications on so they don't miss the next day, which is going to be educate. Day two is the educational phase of this social media campaign. And granted, guys, not everything has to be disseminated into just one post. But these are themes, right? These are daily themes. So you can put out several posts in this day educating people, but you want to make sure that this content is something that helps people, giving a lot of value. You want to over deliver in this portion, right? Educating people as far as social media wise, most people get on social media to be entertained. So at the end of the day, even when you're educating, you still want to find a way to entertain people. We call this edutainment, right? You want to be able to entertain people and give value. And so in day two, while you're educating your new audience and the audience that you've been nurturing already, you want to make sure you are giving them extreme amounts of value. The more value you give, the more shock value you give, the more likely you are to get those shares and those comments up so that, again, you can reach a larger audience. Now, the next day, this is where you got to put some level of thought into it. And you got to put some level of thought into all these, don't get me wrong. But the third one, day three, is going to be your reward, the reward day, right? This is where you want to offer some type of exclusive reward for people who are engaging in your comments or engaging in your content in general. This is in the form of a comment this word for a free gift. Comment this or share this with a friend, or tag 3 people to be entered in this raffle, right? You see it all the time and you engage in this content all the time without even knowing that they're probably on the third leg of their social media campaign, and that is day 3 reward. Once you get out of the reward, now you get into the outcomes, right? This is where you want to offer a testimony, guys. When it comes to selling a product or a service, a lot of times I see entrepreneurs just talking about their product or service, making videos of themselves, and why they made the product or service. But let me tell you this. It would be better for me to run an ad with Chris Paul wearing that clothing brand than myself, especially if nobody really knows me, right? And to make it even better, if this is an influencer that a lot of people know, what you can do is you can take that ad and target people who are familiar with Chris Paul. So you can even just type in Chris Paul and Facebook will tell you, okay, 5 million people are enjoy this content or like content with Chris Paul in it, right? So now if you target those people, they're going to see Chris Paul in your clothes, as opposed to seeing you in your clothes, right? So this is how important the testimony is. It's the same concept. It's getting someone else who is using your products and services and having them make a video, make a post. Sometimes with this, the stagnant posts even go better because not everybody is a strong speaker and not everybody knows how to communicate value, right? Keep that in mind. Communicating value. This is huge. Not everyone has this skill. So sometimes, and depending on what the product is, it may be better having somebody share receipts of them getting their first sale or them, closing their first deal or their text thread between you and them, on, the wins that they've been seeing from, applying some of your coaching tips and stuff like that. These are also forms of testimonies that you can include in day 4, which again is the outcome day. This is the phase where you are focusing on outcomes, right? You went through the education, you then gave the value, you gave out a couple rewards for people who have been communicating and engaging this far. Now you want to make it known that this stuff really works, right? I've been talking about how you can do this, and I've been giving rewards, and I've been saying this is what I've been doing. Now I want to show proof that it can be duplicated, that there are other people that are like me that have came through me, right? That's day 4. Day 5 is the feature. This is very similar, and this is where I get a lot of people confused, right? Between day 4 and 5, right? The feature is slightly different from the outcome because, again, like I said, depending on the product or service or industry, a static post might be a better form of a testimony than a video or a reel, right? Now, in the feature, this is where you want to invite a member or a previous client, a customer, a consumer, whoever. This is where you want to invite them on a live or maybe like a Zoom call and you cut up the clips from there, right? This is where you want to feature them on your page, some form of fashion, right? I say with the feature, these are more effective as lives, right? Because with lives, you can get lively, you can get polarizing, you can kind of entertain a little bit, you can tell jokes, it's a little bit more casual. And again, the whole purpose of this is to expose your audience to other people that are like you, doing what you're doing, putting into practice what you're preaching, and showing that this is real, right? Like that there are people having success in this thing. So again, that's why I would say a live is definitely cool, but you want to make sure you promote that live. So, day 5 during the feature, you might start off the day with a quick flyer as a stagnant post, or maybe get creative and make a reel. But you want to pretty much let people know that a live is coming later on that day, maybe in the evening time. This has to be done with intention, guys, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. But let's go into day 6. Day 6 is probably one of the most important days because most people don't do this enough, which is asking people to take action. That's day 6, action. You want to have clear directions and tell your audience what to do. Now, I'm going to be honest. Me personally, I'm putting call to actions pretty much in every single one of these posts, but some of them are a little bit more indirect. Some of them are a little bit more slick, less salesy. But this day in particular, I'm being very upfront. Like I'm telling people, this is what you need to do. And if you want to be a little bit less salesy with it, what you can do is that you can pretty much kind of cloak the sales pitch with a challenge. Like maybe make this day running a challenge. Like it might be a challenge that you could implement that would bring one, awareness to the challenge, and then 2, get people engaging and already kind of forming this little small community of people who are doing this challenge together. This may even look good as a Facebook group or a Discord channel. I would definitely say if you're going to do the challenge, take it off of like IG or something like that. Facebook groups and Discords are the best for these challenges. Or even like emails is cool. You definitely want to collect emails throughout this whole thing, right? The whole point of this whole thing is to collect some form of email throughout the process eventually, like especially in the reward. I think in day 3, that's where you have the best chance of collecting emails, especially if you have a really strong lead gen offer, like a free playbook, or if you want to raffle off like a TV, right? People might have to, share it to a certain amount of people, provide their email or whatever, right? Right, like that, just to qualify. You can get really creative. That's what the beauty of this thing is. And it's the beauty of content creation in general. Like you can get as creative as what you want. This is the blueprint. This is the foundation. This is the GPS. But your vehicle is going to look a little bit different, right? We all using Google Maps. But you might be using Google Maps in a Tesla. I might be using it in a Range. Somebody else might be using it in a G-Wagon, right? The vehicle's going to be different, but it's all Google Maps, right? So this is the GPS, right? So you got to figure out what vehicle is going to work best for you. And again, that takes intention. You don't want to just say tomorrow, let me start off with a hook, right? Like plan it out. Like if this is a 7-day campaign, maybe take 7 days prior planning what that campaign looks like. Okay? Day 7, this is going to be the recap. This is where you just spend most of the time just summarizing key benefits of joining your community, buying your digital product, buying that tool, subscribing to the YouTube, like whatever the end goal is, right? For the most part, you want it to be something that you can monetize. Whatever the end goal is, whatever the end of the journey looks like, right? Because that's what this whole thing is. It's a journey. It's a journey for you to see. It's like a kind of like a virtual funnel that you can't see. It's like from day 1, you might have thousands of people engaged. And then by day 7, you only have a couple hundred. That's all right. These are the people you want to work with. These are the hottest leads, the most qualified candidates to enter your fold. So you won't be wasting your time by, engaging with those people. Maybe even offering a discount on joining your community, right? Offer them the first month, half off or something like that, just for them making it this far. That's another reward that you can offer. But again, the whole point is like just to offer value, give value, over deliver on the value. I think a lot of times people are trying to focus too much on the price and they forget about the value. But pay attention to the value first, and that's going to name the price, right? That's going to name the price. Don't let that go over your head. Because guys, let me tell you, if you do this right and you do this intentionally, this is the fastest and the best way for you to not only make some money, but most importantly, learn your audience. That's the whole key here. You want to learn your audience, because if you don't know your audience, that's like cooking spaghetti and throwing it at a wall that doesn't exist. How you going to know if that spaghetti is cooked all the way? Because it don't have nothing to stick to, right? You don't have anywhere to throw it. It's just going to eventually just fall to the floor. You want to be able to create a wall that you can throw that spaghetti at and see what sticks. What doesn't stick, don't use it again. Cook it a little bit longer. Figure out how to tweak it, right? Add some more heat, add some more water. But whatever does stick, keep doing that. Because that's how what you're doing is you're learning your audience so that you can make the changes that you need to, or try again so that you can maximize your profits. The monetization is cool. Yes, we are doing this to monetize, but we're more so doing this to learn our audience so that we can maximize on those profits, not just make a couple bucks, right? You might make a couple bucks just from doing this, but if you do it right, you might make a fortune. Got it? Got it. Let's get it. So now we're going to move on, because the reason why I thought this information was important and why I wanted to drop it when I dropped it, because last week or earlier this week, you saw that I dropped a video about, just being on social media and some hacks to learn the algorithm so that you could get your content in front of more people. Now that you're going to start putting that into practice, now here's a step further, right? This is a 7-day campaign, right? With a clear plan of action on how to go from day 1 to day 7 and move your audience through a journey with you to be able to make a decision if this is somebody that I want to continue to work with, spend money with, learn from, etc. Because it costs you nothing to press post. That's what I think people forget, how powerful social media is. All these apps are free. Like, imagine if Instagram charged you $4.99 every single time to post something. You probably will be livid, right? One, they know they would never do that because their usage will go down drastically. But it costs you nothing to press post on your favorite app. It costs you nothing to get in front of your phone and hit record. Might cost you some time, but it doesn't cost you any dollars. It doesn't cost you anything. So what if you spent half the time that you spend scrolling actually creating? Like, not just creating a dancing TikTok. I'm not talking about the little things. I'm talking about creating with intention a 7-day plan to engage an audience so that you can learn that audience and put a product behind that audience once you've learned them. Because think about it, you could do this as many times as you want. Nobody said it's 7 and done. Nobody says once you do it, that's the last time, the only time you could do it. right? You might not even have an offer. You might be saying, well, Kai, what if I don't have anything to sell? Can I still run it? Absolutely. Run that play. Run the play. You can run this play anytime. And even if you don't have a product or service or offer, you can still run it. And that's I guarantee you, by the end of day 7, you're going to know what product or service you should be offering. I guarantee it. If it's done right, you will know exactly what you need to offer your audience. And in doing it the next time, you will maximize your profits. That's coming straight from the man. That's coming straight from me, bruh. It's coming straight from me. How do I know? Because I've done it. I've literally done it, and I've seen the results. And some results have been better than others. The first time I did this, I made nothing. A couple other times, I might have made a couple $100. Sometimes after that, I've picked up clients that are paying thousands a month. Thousands a month. Like $1,500, $2,000 every single month for a service that was originally pitched through social media. Guys, I'm using social media to make a living. You can too. I am not special. I promise you. I just am very intentional about my time, very intentional about the resources that I have access to, and I could come up with a plan to execute. You can do the same exact thing, and that's why I make these videos, so that I can give you the information so you can skip all the BS, right? Like, it took me hours to find this information. You just got all this information in 15 to 20 minutes. Please don't let it go to waste. Don't let it go to waste. I got a pro tip for you before we go, right? To make it easier, I want you to even try batching your content in 1 to 2 days, right? So come up with a plan, come up with your marketing plan, then come up with the types of content you need to create, whether it's videos, carousels, pictures, whatever, and then create it all in 1 or 2 days. And then now you have the next 7 to 10 days full of content that can be posted on a daily basis, right? So thanks y'all in advance for tapping in with me for yet another $1 Million episode of the $1 Million Mind Podcast. I'm your guy, Kai Speaks. Before we get out of here, I want you all to join me in some of the top entrepreneurs of our generation in the creators community. Yes, this is a weekly community where we focus on monetization of social media platforms, right? So if you are a content creator and you are looking to, execute a 7-day marketing campaign, you still, even after this video, don't know where to start, hop on that call on Tuesdays at 8:30. Ask me all the questions you have. Connect with other content creators. We networking. We even meeting in person sometimes. We actually thinking about doing a hiking mastermind here in Georgia. So, just comment under this video if you want to be a part of that. If you're in the Georgia area, you enjoy hiking, and you want to connect with some content creators, definitely let us know. I'll get you the information on where to meet us at. You are going to love meeting with us every single Tuesday for live trainings, content strategies, marketing, and branding tips for our in our Discord channel as well. 24/7 access. So with that being said, guys, just remember to keep focused, build momentum, and drive results. I'm your guy, Kai Speaks. We out.